Hey guys, I'm going to quickly show you how to find slope from 2 points. So remember that when it's video, Miss Vincent, you can pause and write as much as you need to. But this is going to be a quick video just to show you how to find this. I'm going to remind you that everything we've done with slope is the big stuff so far. So converting to from standard to slope, identifying slope and y-intercept. This is a small piece, and I already kind of hinted at most of you that there's only one benchmark question like this. And then there's going to be a couple on your slope unit test, but it is important to know it. I'm going to be honest, it looks like a really crazy formula, but it's really not bad if you follow Miss Burat and I's criteria steps, okay? So to determine slope from 2 points, okay, and I'm going to kind of show you what I have written right here, and then I'm going to write it out for you, okay? To determine slope from 2 points, what we're doing is taking two coordinates. So rather than looking at a graph, I'm going to be able to give you two coordinates. You're going to label them. This is the first x and the first y, the second x and the second y, and you're going to figure out the slope from that formula. So the formula looks like this, and I'm going to write that out to where it makes sense for you, okay? This is slope equals the difference in the two coordinates that you're using is y's divided by the difference in the two coordinates you're using x's. So in a second, when I write the criteria, the most important part of this is going to be labeling your first x and y and your second x and y. After that, it's going to be smooth sailing and plugging in. So your formula is going to be the second y minus the first y of the two coordinates divided by the second x minus the first x. Okay, and that will leave you with slope. Okay, so our criteria steps right here, and you can obviously pause and write this, are going to be to identify and label the two coordinates x and y's, and I'm about to show you what that looks like, because all of these are going to be where I give you two coordinates, okay, and this is the first ordered pair right here. So since this is the first ordered pair that I'm trying to use, I literally called this x1 and y1. It's the first x and the second, the first x and the first y. And then for our second ordered pair, we're going to label that one x2 and y2. Now that we have it all labeled, you literally take those pieces and plug them in to the formula. So you say y2, and you go find your y2, minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, okay? So this one's obviously worked out for you. You pause and copy this on the note sheet as needed. I'm going to work this one out really quick, kind of just showing you what it looks like. So I could count this from the graph, but I want to show you that it works. So what I'm going to do is get two coordinates from this line. So I found that this point right here, and then I found the point 2, 5 right here. So the two coordinates I have are the coordinates 0, 8, and 2, 5. And I told you that on the first paper, obviously you should have paused and written that already. So go back right now, rewind and write it if you need to. That our first step before we do anything is to label those points. So since this is my first coordinate, and we always read left to right, this is my first coordinate, this is my x1, this is my y1, this is my x2, and this is my y2. And now I use my formula right here to literally just plug in. So I'm going to say that the slope of this line would equal my y2, 5, minus my y1, 8, divided by my x2, which is 2, minus my x1, which is 0. And if I simplified that out, I would have 5 minus 8, which is negative 3, and 2 minus 0, which is 2. So I'd have a slope of negative 3 over 2. And if I go to the line and kind of count out to check, zooming in, I would see, of course, that this would go down 1, 2, 3, and to the right, 1, 2. So it's nice and easy, of course, when we do have a graph here, but you'll see for the rest of this practice, I don't give you a graph, right? All of these are two sets of coordinates, and you're going to label them and then plug them in, okay? It gets really easy to mess them up without them being labeled, so make sure you wrote down that criteria, and I'll show it one more time. Identify and label the two coordinates. Subtract and simplify the slope as needed. So I didn't need to simplify this one, obviously. And I could see that right here is my y-intercept at +8. So I can easily build an equation now and say that y equals -3/2x plus 8. Okay, so that's a quick and easy way to do this. Of course, there's a fire drill right now. Have a great day.